So in continuation with the previous session, so we will go for the another example. Example based on mesh current analysis. We will go for this example. Find the voltage VAB by mesh current method. Apply Cramer's rule. Okay. Here VAB is equal to in between the branch A and B. Okay. Here the circuit is to be here. Okay. Here is two loops, that is I1 and I2. Either we are applying two methods here. Directly we are applying the direct method, that is I1 current and I2 current both within total circuit, or otherwise here we are considering two loops, that is one loop, that is go for this is one loop, the next one is the second loop. Both the ways we can solve this equation for the voltage VAB. Here we are considering direct method, that is here. So the first current I1 current, that is I1 current is flowing through this circuit is, so 5 into, okay, so in this 5 ohm resistor there is a two currents will be flowing, that is I1 current and I2 current. So that's why I, that is resistor, plus two currents is equal to I1 plus I2. Okay, plus, so this first loop, that is again 5 ohm resistor and J20 ohm resistor, 5 plus J20 into I1 is equal to, so the voltage is equal to 100 angle 45 degrees. Okay, this one is our first equation. Okay, so look at here, that is equal to the 5 into I1 plus I2 plus 5 plus J20 into I1 is equal to 100 angle 45 degrees. So simplify in terms of I1 and I2, that is the equation 1. So next go for the second loop. So second current, that is equal to, so again, so from this 5 ohm resistor there will be two current will be flowing, the again 5 into I1 plus I2. Okay, next, so this I2 current is flowing through this 20 ohm resistor, 20 into I2 is equal to, again, so 100 angle 45 degrees. This one is equal to our second equation, that is equal to 5 into I2 plus I1 plus 20 into I2 is equal to the 100 angle 45 degrees. So look, first equation 1 and equation 2, these two equations will be put them into a matrix form. 10 plus J20 into I1 plus I2. Next 5 into 25 into I2 is equal 100 angle 45 degrees and 100 angle 45 degrees. Okay, here we solve for the voltage, that is VAB. So for that purpose we have to determine the value of delta Z. Okay, after that find out the value of delta 1. Already we know that how to find delta Z and delta 1. After that the current I1 is equal to delta 1 by delta Z, that is equal, finally we are getting the value 3.647 angle minus 20.78 degree amperes. So to find out VAB, okay, so look at here. So for this circuit, so VAB is equal to, here is A and B, so in between. So that means either we are find out the value of current I1. So to find out VAB voltage, V equal to I into R. Here I is equal to, so the current I1 current, R is equal to this total 5 plus J20 ohms. So that's why first we have to find the value of current I1. I1 is equal to, how to determine, that is delta 1 by delta Z. So from that we are getting the I1 value. Next here R is equal to, so 5 ohms plus J20 ohm, that is impedance value. Then easily find out the value of VAB. Look at here. So then VAB is equal to, so from this equation VAB is equal to I1 into impedance Z. So already we know that I1 is equal to the 3.647 angle minus 20.78 degrees into, okay, again impedance is equal to the, here is equal 5 plus J20 converted into polar form. So finally VAB is equal to 75.18 angle 55.20 degree volts. So in this way we have to determine the voltage drop across any element or any branch. So to find out the voltage drop with any branch, or suppose if you want to find out the voltage drop across the 5 ohm resistor, then there are 5 ohm resistor, here also we have to find the current I1. After that, so VR is equal to the current I1 into resistance value R. So that means, so in any branch we have to find out the voltage drop across each branch. So corresponding to that we have to find out the current value, either based on the loop equations, either I1 or I2 or more than that. we have to select the I1, I2 current. After that, we have to draw the voltage drop. That is, we have to find the voltage drop across each element. So this one is another example. So in previous section, we have to find the current flowing through the branches. In this case, we have to find out the voltage drop across each element by applying Cramer's rule. Go for the another example. So in this case, we are determining the power. Okay, in this case also, we have to find the voltages VAB and VBC of the given network. Here VAB is equal to in between, that is 3 ohms plus J4 ohms. So that means we have to find the voltage drop across these 3 plus J4 ohm impedance. Next VBC, that is equal to across J10 ohms, we have to find the voltage drop. Here is also we are considering two loops, that is one first loop and second loop. So the first loop current is equal to I1, second loop current is equal to I2. Okay, the voltage source applied is here is equal to 100 angle 45 degrees ohms. Okay, so first we have to write down the loop equations. So for loop 1, okay, the loop equations is equal to the self impedances and the overall current flowing through this loop 1, that is I1 current flowing through this loop 1 is equal to 3 ohms, that is 3 ohms plus J4 ohms plus another one is equal to J10 ohms. So from this the current will be flowing is equal to I1 minus, so J10 ohms is in between loop 1 and loop 2, so that's why minus J10 into I2 is equal to, the voltage is equal to 100 angle 45 degrees. So that means that loop equation is equal to 3 plus J10 plus 4 is equal to 14, J14 into I1 minus J10 into I2 is equal to 100 angle 45 degrees. So look at here, here is equal to 3 plus, so 3 plus J4 into minus J10 equal to 100 angle 45 degrees for the loop equation 1. Next go for the loop equation 2. So that is second loop. Here the second loop is equal to, okay, so J10 plus, here is equal to the self impedances J10 plus or minus, sorry, J10 is equal to 0 and imaginary part is equal to 0. So the impedance is for I2 is equal to 0. Only the I1 current is equal to minus J10 into I1. The loop equation equal to minus J10 into I1 is equal to 0. Okay. So because here I2 current is to be in these branches, because the impedances are equal, so that's why I2 current is equal to 0. That is self current is equal to 0. So only I1 current will be flowing through this circuit. So that's why I1 current is equal minus J into 10 ohms. I2 current is equal to 0. So there is no voltage source connected to the second loop, that is equal to 0. So next after that we have to find the value of delta 1 and delta 2. Okay. Then after we have to find the value of current. I1 is equal to delta 1 by delta. That is equal to the minus 7.07 plus J 7.07. So next from that after that we have to find the value of VAB. So already we know that VAB is equal to 3.J4 into I1 is equal to, okay. So I1 current is equal to 7.07 plus J 7.07. So then VBC is equal to J10 into I1 minus I2 is equal to this. So and finally we have to find the value of VAB and VBC. So VAB is equal to 0, VBC equal to 100 angle 45 degrees volts. Okay. So that means VAB is equal to, here is equal to VAB is equal to 0. So VBC is equal to the 100 angle 45 degrees. Okay. In this way you have to find the any branch voltages by using mesh current method or mesh current analysis. Okay, next go for the another example. So in this example you have to find out the power, okay, output power of the voltage source. Okay, next look at the problem. So find the power output of the voltage source. That means, so across this power you have, sorry, across this voltage source you have to find the power. So find the power output of the voltage source in the circuit shown in figure A, and also determine the power in the circuit resistors, and also find out the power in the circuit resistors. The circuit resistors are 10 ohms and 3 ohms. So across 10 ohms and 3 ohm resistor you have to find the power, at the same time the power at the 50 angle 0 degrees voltage source. So again in this case also there is a two loop equations, loop 1 and loop 2. Okay. So loop 1 equation and loop 2 equation, again applying the matrix method, then find out the current I1. So after that, so from that current P is equal to either I square into R. We have to determine this equation. So at the power, okay, at the voltage source, P is equal to, so V into I. So if you want, when we are finding the value of I and the voltage, we are getting the value of power P. So just look at here. So directly inspection method. So that is equal to the 10 angle minus, here is equal to n minus j5e. Okay, look at here. So self impedance, that is equal to the 10 minus j5. Mutual impedance minus of minus, that is plus j5 ohms. Okay. So next go for the self impedance for I2, that is 3 plus j4 minus j5, that is equal to the 3 minus j, that is the I2 current. Okay, next I1 is equal to the minus of minus, that is plus j5. So this one is our matrix. Directly inspection method, direct inspection method, we are getting this matrix form. That is, so here is 10 minus j5 into j5, j5 into 3 minus j1 is equal to the 50 angle 0 degrees into 0. So 50 angle 0 degrees into 0. Okay, after the matrix, go for determine the value of delta z and delta 1 and delta 2. Okay, after that you have to find the values of I1 and I2. I1 is equal to delta 1 by delta z, so that is equal to I1 current 4.47 angle minus 63.43 degrees amperes, and find the power. Okay, to find the power, so the power at the voltage source is equal to, average power is VI cos phi. So phi is equal to angle of I1, that is 50 into, that is voltage source, and the power is equal to, voltage is equal to the 50, and the current flowing through this one is equal to 2.83, that is I1 current is to be flowing, and the phase angle, the angle is equal to the current angle, that is 8.14 angle is equal to total power is 140 watts. Next 10 ohm, the power across 10 ohm resistor, that is equal to the I square into R. So that's why I square into I1 square into R equal to 10. So next the power at 3 ohm resistor, that is equal to I2 square into 3. I2 is equal to the 4.47 whole square into 3, that is equal to the 60 watts. So to verify this power is to be correct or not, then so the source power is equal to the 140. The voltage powers, the power across resistors is equal to, one is 80 watts, another one is equal to 60 watts. The power is equal to P1 plus P2. Suppose assume P1 plus P2. Here P1 is equal to 80, P2 is equal to 60, 80 plus 60 equal to 140, that is equal to our source power 140. Okay. So in this way also we can verify the power generated by the source is to be equal or not. Okay. Next, another example is find the voltage transfer function V0 by V for the circuit shown in figure below. Okay, that means, so the transfer function means, so that is output by input. Here we have to find the output voltage V0 by input voltage Vi for the circuit shown in figure. Just go through the again. So equations, that is from these equations we are applying the direct inspection method. Okay, so in that the self impedance is equal to the, for loop 1, that is 5 ohms and j20 ohms, that is 5 plus j20. So in between loop 1 and loop 2, that is equal to the minus 5 ohms. Again in case of second loop also, so the mutual impedances between the, so loop 1 and loop 2 is equal minus 5 ohms. Again self impedance for the loop 2, that is second loop, is equal to 5 ohms, 10 ohms minus j5 ohms, that means 10 plus 5 is equal to 15 minus j5, that is 15 minus j5. Okay, into the current flowing through this loop 1 is equal to I1, for loop 2 is equal to I2, is equal to V1 into, Vi, that is input voltage. Next one is the 0. Okay, so this one is directly write down the matrix form, that is the mesh current equations are directly write down in matrix form by the inspection method. Okay, next after that you have to find the voltage drop across the output voltage by input voltage Vi. Okay, so that is, this one is mesh equations have to be right, that is case 1. Again case 2 you have to find the, so current, that is I1 current and I2 current for the loop 1 and loop 2. So for that purpose you have to determine the value of delta Z, that is determinant of the matrix. After that go for the delta 2, that is input impedance. Delta 2 is equal to, you have to find. So from that case the determinant is equal to the 150 plus J 275. Delta 2 is equal to, so that is equal to the determinant of this equation, that is here in, so second column is to be replaced by the values, that is V input and 0. Then finally we are getting the delta 2 is equal to the 5 into Vi. So case 3, that means you have to find the ratio of V0 by Vi, that is equal to I2 is equal to delta 2 by delta Z. Here delta 2 is equal to the 5 into Vi by, so delta is equal to the 150 plus J 275. Okay, that is equal to the I2 current. Okay, so from that you have to find the voltage transfer function, that is, so already we know that V0 is equal to the 10 into I2. So that means V0 into, already we find out the value of I2, that is equal to the 5 into Vi by 150 plus J 275. So that's why from this equation you have to write V0 by Vi is equal to, so 50 by 150 plus J 275. Finally we are getting the transfer ratio, that is V0 by Vi is equal to the, so 0.159 angle minus 61.5 degrees. Okay, so in this way you have to find the ratio, that is transfer function. Okay, so the transfer function first we have to find V0 by Vi. So for that purpose write down the mesh current equations and put them into the matrix form. After that you have to find the value of delta Z, and in this case we have to find out the value of V0. So for that purpose we have to find the value of delta 2. So that means why we are find out the value of delta 2, because so V0 is related to the current, that is I2, that is related to the loop 2. So that's why, so I2 current have to be find, that is I2 is equal to the delta 2 by delta. When we are find out the I2 values, so the V0 is equal to the, so that is V0 value is across the 10 ohm resistor. That means V0 is equal to the, in our case V0 is equal to, so that is 10 ohm. The resistor is equal to the 10 ohms into the current flowing through that resistor, that is equal to I2. So that purpose we have to find the value of I2. So from that equations V0 and Vi, so we will go for the ratio V0 by Vi is equal to the, so 0.159 angle minus 61.5 degrees. Okay, in this way you have to find the transfer function also from by using mesh current methods. Okay, next go for the another example. Okay, so in this example you have to find the values of determine input impedance. Okay, input impedance and see it by the 50 ohm voltage source, input impedance of the voltage source, and calculate I1 using this impedance. Okay, it is not inference, that is impedance. Okay, in this case also you have to find the input impedance, at the same time you have to find the I1 current within the first loop. Okay, for that purpose again we have to write the equations in inspection method and put them into the matrix form. Okay, so in this case for loop 1, okay, the self impedance is means 6 ohms less 5 ohm, that is equal to the 11 ohms. Okay, so next I2 is equal to the minus 5. Okay, so I3 is equal to 0, because so there is no connection between the first loop and second loop. And go for the second equation, second loop, that is self impedances is equal to the 18 ohms plus 4 ohms plus 5 ohms. That means 18 plus 5 13, 13 plus 4 is equal to the 17 is the second equation, that is loop second I2. Next go for the first one, that is equal to 5. Again in between loop 2 and loop 3, that is equal to the 4 ohms. Again go for the third equation, that is self impedance equal to 4 plus 4, that is equal to 8. Okay, so in between second and third and first loop, that is equal to the minus 4. There is no connection between the first loop and third loop, so that's why it is equal to 0, and the matrix is equal to 11 minus 5 11 minus 5 0 minus 5 17 minus 4, again 0 minus 4 and 8. So this one is equal to our matrix representation. Okay, so at first loop we are getting the value of voltage source, that is equal to the 50. For second and third loop there is no voltage source, so that's why that will be indicated as 0. After that you have to find the values of delta Z and delta 1. Okay, transfer impedance, that is delta 1 you have to find. So delta 1 means that is equal to this part, the delta 1 is have to be find, that is equal to the 200. Okay, after that, so to find the self impedance, um, source impedance means that is equal to the Z11 is equal to the delta Z by delta 11. Okay, so for that purpose here we have to find the value of delta Z, after that the coefficient of the Z11, so that is delta 11. So that then Z11 is equal to the 10 ohms. Again to find the value of I1 current, the I1 is equal to, so already we are find out the value of impedance. Next already we know the given value is equal to V1. So that's why I1 is equal to V1 by Z11. From that we are getting the value of current, that is equal to the 5 amperes. Okay, in this way you have to find the impedance values also. Okay, is it clear? So again look at once again. Okay, in this case, so in this example, okay, we have to determine input impedance as seen by the 50 ohm voltage source. So from this direction we have to find the input impedance. Again calculate the current, I1 current flowing within this loop. Okay, so for that purpose first we have to find the same thing whatever we are learned in previous section, that is to be applied. So that means first we have to write the mesh current equations for each and every loop. After that put them into the matrix form. So finally after getting the matrix we have to find the value of delta Z. Okay, here in this example it is you have to determine input impedance. So that's why input impedance means that is equal to the Z11. Okay, so next Z12 is called as a transfer impedance looking from the input section. So but in this case we have to find out the value of input impedance Z11. So that's why, so to determine the value of Z11 first we have to find the value of delta 11, that is coefficient of the Z11 value. So after that we are getting the impedance value is equal to the Z11 is equal to delta Z by delta 11. After that we have to find the value of I1 current. Again I1 current is equal to the V by Z. So already we know the value of V. So from this we have to find the self impedance, that is input impedance. From that I1 is equal to the V by Z11, that is the value, how to determine these values. Next we will go for the another example. So this one is related to the super mesh. This one is related to the super mesh in a mesh equations, super mesh analysis. Okay, so what is a super mesh? In this case, suppose, so when there is a current source in between the loops, okay, then you have to write the, so these two loops will be considering as a one super mesh, these two meshes will be equal to the one super mesh. That means, so in our previous sections, okay, there is a loop 1, loop 2 and loop 3. So in between there is some passive component or some other voltage source, but in our case in this example, so between loop 1 and loop 2 there is some current, so that is current flowing through this one is equal to the 1 amperes. So when there is a current source is to be existed between the loops, then we are applying the super mesh analysis. Now we are discussing how to apply the super mesh equations for this network. Okay, first we have to write the loop equations for the loop 3. Okay, just, so first note down the self impedances. In the self impedances, that is 2 ohms, 1 ohms and 1 ohm, that is a 2 plus 1 plus 1, that is equal to the 4 ohms. Okay, that is I3 equal to 4 ohms. Next I1 is equal to in between loop 3 and loop 1, that is equal to the 2 ohms, that is equal to minus 2. Okay, next in between loop 2 and loop 3, that is equal to minus 1, again 4 ohms. Okay, so that is the case. In this case, next go for the here 1 ampere current is flowing between the loop 1 and loop 2. So that's why I1 minus I2 is equal to 1 ampere. Okay, in this case, because so 1 ampere current is flowing between these two loops. So that's why, so here the two loop currents are I1 and I2. These two are in opposite direction. That's why I1 minus I2 is equal to the 1 ampere. This one is another equation. Okay, so next now we are applying the super mesh equations. How to apply the super mesh means, here 2 ohms is in between the loop 1 and loop 2. So that's why 2 into, so I1 minus I3. Okay, so next 1 ohm resistor that is in between loop 2 and loop 3. So that's why minus 1 into, okay, I2 minus I3. Okay, next minus 2 into I2. So this, in this way you have to write the equation. Okay, is it clear for everyone? Just now I am sorry. So just I will repeat once again. Okay, in super mesh analysis, just when we are applying the mesh equations, just remove this part. Just mean, so there is no connection existed. So write down the mesh equations. So for this loop 1, okay, there is a 2 ohm resistor in between loop 1 and loop 3. So that's why I1 and I3. That is I1 and I3. That means I1 and I3, that is equal to the 2 ohm resistor is to be existed for loop 1 and loop 3. Again, so loop 2 and loop 3, there is a 1 ohm resistor is to be existed. So just simply write down the mesh equations, that is equal to the 2 ohm is in between I1 and I3. So that's why 2 ohms is, so that is from this 2 ohm resistor I1 and I3 current is to be flowing. So that's why, so 2 into, okay, I1 current, that is I1 minus I3. Okay, so in between loop 3 and loop 2, that is, so from this 1 ohm resistor the two currents is to be flowing, that is again I2 minus I3. Okay, next minus 2 ohm is for the I2 is equal to 2 volts. In this way you have to write the super mesh equations, that is here. So for third loop, that is equal to the equation minus 2 into I1 minus I2 plus 4 into I3 equal to 0. Again, so the 1 ampere current is flowing between the two loops. So that's why I1 minus I2 is equal to the 1 ampere. Next, for applying the third one, that is equal to the super mesh analysis. Okay, that is equal to the 2I3 plus 3I2 minus 3I3 is equal to 0. Again, from these three equations you have to write down the matrix form, that is matrix equation. After that you have to find the value of common calculations, that is find out the value of delta z. Next, go for the delta 1, delta 2 and delta 3. Okay, after that, so by using Cramer's rule, you have to find out the value of I1, I2 and I3. I1 is equal to the, so delta 1 by delta z, I2 is equal to the delta 2 by delta z, I3 is equal to the delta 3 by delta, delta 3 by delta z. So in this way you have to applying the super mesh analysis. Okay, only one thing remembering, the difference only between the, so normal mesh equations and super mesh equations is that, so in super mesh, when we are applying the super mesh means, so when the current source is existed between two loops, okay, that means, so from in between two loops the current is to be flowing, okay, rather than assumpted current directions. Instead of that, so they are given within a circuit, so there is some amount of the current is flowing between the two loops, then we are applying the super mesh analysis. Okay, so what we are applying in mesh analysis, that same thing is to be applied for the circuit also. But when we are applying this, when we are calculating the super mesh analysis, okay, so that current source is to be omitted, that is just rejected when we are applying the super mesh. Then applying the, so again depends on the current flowing directions. Okay, we have to applying the two current flowing direction I1 minus I2 or otherwise I3 minus I2. So based on that which we the direction of the flow of current, so that is equal to the super mesh. After that, so here we are getting the same equation, that is loop equations. So these loop equations is to be put them into the matrix form. Okay, after getting the matrix form, again we have to find the different values, that is in this case we are find out the current mesh current, that is I1, I2 and I3. In some other cases there is a need to find out the voltage drop across the resistors or otherwise voltage drop across the some other elements, or you have to find the power. So after applying the mesh analysis, super mesh, so we are easily applying mathematical solutions, that is Cramer's rule, then find out the, so what we are required element. Okay, so this one is totally about the mesh current analysis. In mesh current analysis, glancely, first you have to find out the number of mesh equations is to be required. So that is the formula, m is equal to b minus n plus 1. So after that, so we have to write down the mesh equations, okay, based on the KVL. Okay, next go for the, so after write down the mesh equations, put them into the matrix form. So when we are getting the matrix, next fourth one you have to find different parameters, that is voltage, current, or otherwise power, or otherwise transfer ratio, that is voltage transfer ratio or current transfer ratio, and so on. Again finally we have to find out the super mesh analysis also. This one is totally about our mesh methods or mesh current analysis. Okay, so totally we are learn from this mesh current analysis, that is, so number of equations required. So next one is how to apply the KVL, how to put them into the matrix form. Next how we have to find different parameters from that circuit. Again finally how to apply super mesh analysis. So these are totally about our mesh current analysis. In our next class we go for the nodal analysis. Okay, thank you one and all.